All right. Hello, everybody. All right. Normally, what I start out with this one is a little nightcap. Is so we're supposed to be. This is Thomas at in Lexington, Kentucky. It's so a lot, and we're supposed to have a cold front coming in. So if you get a little bit of a chill, try some limoncello. Pour it in a nice hot cup of tea, and that would be just relax you. Instead of putting an actual lemon in there, put a limoncello. There you go. Or if you don't like lemon, you could put some cinnamon flavored, fireball or whatever in your tea and kind of spice it up a little bit. But
Like the limoncello in the tea.
yeah, takes out the chill, but you still get the lemon flavor. So that is something that you could try if you're expecting a cold front coming in like we are. It's supposed to drop in the 40s. Of course, my sister would complain to me that
It's not cold.
that's warm compared to where she's at in Wyoming. So today I am so excited. We are making a kitchen boa. I'm going to stand up, and I don't know if you can see it well. You can see here where it says kiss the cook. Of course, we have to wait until after cook to do that. And tea time. So, I mentioned tea. But what's really nice about this kitchen boa is that while you're cooking something, instead of slinging the towel over your shoulder, you have the towels right here. And it's not so much intended for hot pads because they are towels. So please do not try to use these to pull a pan out and expect your hands not to get burned. Not really intended for that because I did not make it for that. But I saw somebody talk about this, and then I was at somewhere, and they had these for sale, and I'm like, I've made one of these. You guys, I'm so excited. I'm waiting until I do some major baking and then also some canning because canning. Let me just tell you, you're holding the hot jar in one hand, pouring. Yep, perfect for canning. So now. This boa, as you can see here, is the same fabric on both sides. Today I'm going to talk about we can do the same fabric on both sides, or we could do a different fabric on the back. This particular one was made out of flannel. I guess I had my sister in mind because if you're in the kitchen cooking, you're going to be a little bit hot. You may not want to make yours out of flannel. However, my sister would be the one you could turn the oven to 250. She would crawl in and still want a blanket. She's always cold. So, all right. So today, what we're going to start out with is you're going to take, and this one here, we are going to, as if I was making two, and do we want to put the share camera on? So we're trying new equipment. So and this is my pattern. So I've actually made this up. Oh, and I almost forgot. Is make sure that you make a comment. Hello, great to see you. Any kind of comment, please ask questions. I would love to answer them along the way. If you, by answering the question, because it's about a towel, today you are going to be given a tea towel so that you can actually make your first boa, and it's black with white polka dots, which goes with a lot of stuff in my opinion. But what we're going to do is we are going to cut, if you are making a boa that is 3 strips wide. So on this one, so I'm just going to go in, I'm going to find my 5.5, and I'm going to cut my strips at the 5.5 inches wide by width of fabric. And if you do not know what width of fabric means, it means from salvage to salvage. So this is width of fabric, which is 45 inches. What you want to do at this point is now take one of those strips. If you're doing one fabric, you cut 3 strips. If you are doing 2 fabrics, you will cut 2 strips of each fabric. And then if you're cutting 3 strips, you're going to cut one of them right in half. You're going to take the 2 halves on the short end, so the 5.5 ends, and you are going to sew across and make your strip longer. Once you make your strip longer, you will have a strip that's here. Now, the boa that I had on, I made this a ridiculously long. So I've trimmed it down for the measurements here today. You want to trim this down to about 51 inches. So here's one of my strips that has the end. You can see here where I have sewn, possibly, open up please, thank you. You can see here where I have just sewn straight across. I am going to take my strip together and you are going to cut this at about 51 inches. So I'm actually going to utilize the mat. So half of 51, I'm doing the math for you. I'm going to cut this right. I'm going to fold it up on my line and I'm going to cut this at right at 25 and a half, which will give me 51 inches. I'm cutting these two ends off. So once you cut your strips, so you will have your front side and your back side of the strip. Now, any of those, if you saw mine, I did embroidery on it. So you can see here where I did the embroidery. You want to take your strip, and you don't have to do machine embroidery. So all of those out there who do not have machine embroidery, I went and cut with the AccuQuilt. Look at the little gingerbread man. You want to make sure that you want to at least have it about a half an inch up from the end, probably closer to 2 inches. That's where I did it. And you want to make sure it's centered. So you could take your gingerbread man, fuse it here, do your applique stitch. So if you want to applique something onto your boa, or if you want to embroider something, this is the point that you do it now on the ends of the fabric that's going to be on the front of your boa. So I wanted to show you, isn't he so cute? AccuQuilt did that. I didn't even have to trace him. So you're gonna, that's where you would want to add in your applique if you want to do the applique or if you want to do machine embroidery. And so the next part is, now I wanted to show you this. I picked this fabric. No, we do not have this fabric in the store. I am sorry. I got this out of my stash. I've been using a lot of stuff out of my stash. If you notice, Mickey Mouse it is all facing directional. So when you do your other piece, you want to make sure your directional piece is going to be going directional. I do not want one side going one direction, one side going the other. If you are picky about that, if you are not picky about that, then just pin it together. So what you want to do is, now you want to come in and you want to start pin your edges. Oh, sorry, you couldn't see my hand, sorry. What I want to do is I'm going to line up and I'm going to pin my edges. Let me tell you why you want to pin the edges. If you just slap the pieces together and you just sew down without pinning over this stretch of fabric of 50 inches, you're going to get it to pull, and it's going to pull in one direction. So it's best if you go down and you pin all the way across both long sides. You want to sew down your long sides, but leave your short ends open. So we do not sew on either one of the short ends. So you're going to sew down the long side. I am today working on the new, and I'm moving the camera. So we're going to adjust this. Sorry about that. If I'm making everybody dizzy, I don't mean to. Today we are working on the Viking Designer Sapphire 85. What's new about this, it replaced, it's a new model that had come out. What it has on the screen, and we kind of have a glare, let me turn that. So what's really fun about this machine is, on the Viking machine, you have your selective fabric. So I could choose woven light, I can choose woven medium, or woven heavy. For the first part of this, I want to choose woven medium. But when I get to the point of adding the towel to it, I want to choose woven heavy. And I may even want, so I want that because I'm going to be working on some major thicknesses. This has a larger screen than its predecessor. So this is an 8-inch screen. It's a touch screen. It's color. I love this blue. It is a lighter blue than what's showing up on the camera. On this machine, I can go in and go to, because it has the Joy of Sew Advisory, I can go in and I can say, oh, I'm going to do ruffles and that. So, but I'm just doing a straight stitch today, so I'm just going to start new. So this is one of the new machines. If you're not familiar with the Viking machine, it also has something called, this one has the Deluxe Stitch Sensor, the Deluxe Stitch System. What that does is it allows you to, it has a metering system. So what I'm going to do today, and I want my 1/4 inch foot on, and I had the wrong foot on. I'm going to use a 1/4 inch foot, and I'm going to do a 1/4 inch seam down the long edges of my embroidery. You could tie off if you want to. I do not want, I'm not going to tie off, but now I'm just going to sew all the way down both long edges. And I am actually done sewing. Sorry, she just adjusted the camera so that I could see it better. And I'm going to move the camera. I'm going to try to do this without making everybody dizzy. And, oh, okay. So when we sew down the long edges, so here's one that we have that I did 2 fabrics. So you can see that I have a pink. This is right side out still, and it has shoes. So I've done this, and you can see right here where I have stitched along both long ends, but both short ends, the 5.5 inch ends, are open. We do not close those. Today I'm using the Easy Point Turner. This is wonderful for if you're turning tubes, including like a 1/4 inch tube, 1/2 inch. This will make your life easier. I can try to stuff my hand in here, and which I have done in the past, but with this thing, I'm just going to open it up and just feed my fabric in. Liz is laughing at me so much.
Way faster.
This is so much faster. This has a little part here where this will clip into that. So I'm going to make sure it grabs my fabric, and then I'm just going to ruffle this over the edge. And it turns, and then I'm going to.
Great for mug rugs also.
Oh, mug rugs. And I am now going to pull that. Voila, inside out. That was so much easier than trying to stuff your hand in there. And if you're like me, my hands are a bit bigger and they are harder to get through that opening. So I am going to, now if you're using 2 fabric, you really want to be careful to make sure that your one fabric does not show on the other side. You're going to need to come in. You're going to press both long sides. And again, you want to make sure that it's out. So what I do there is I will turn around and kind of like roll it a little bit and make sure that it's even. And I'm going to go in and press all of this here. So you're going to press this all the way down the length of your scarf. Once you get to the end, not scarf, boa, my bad. But once you get to the end, when you have the ends here, you want to take that end and fold it a 1/2 inch in. And when you fold a 1/2 inch in, you're going to lay it down, and you want to make sure that it's evenly folded.
I'm gonna do something.
And she's playing with our technology, which is good. I am liking this technology, everybody. I hope you are too. So,
Here, put that over you.
so when I'm doing, you could see here.
There.
Okay, you have the opening here. You want to lay this flat. And then you're going to press this. And if anybody didn't catch it, or if you have any questions, again, this was pressed in under about a 1/2 inch. That, and then you're going to do that to both ends. And all I did was, and I'll show you that again, I just kind of took the seam sides, folded them in, and then tucked it in about a 1/2 inch. If you can use your ruler and kind of make sure that it is 1/2 inch. You want to make sure you have at least a 1/2 inch tucked underneath. And you want to make sure that this is nice and even here, because when you put your towel in, you want to be, and you stitch it, you want to be able to catch both sides. And then I'm just going to hold this and press it. So this is what we are going to do with the kitchen boa on one end, on both ends. Now let's talk about the towels. I have found doing this. If my original boa here was one of your fluffier dish towels, it's harder to press. It depends on what towel you prefer. This is a little bit harder to work with, but it just depends on what look you want. If you get the Kimberbell towels or you get the other tea towels that we sell in the Lexington store, and I believe the Ohio store has them too, these towels they're bigger. They're much bigger towels. So, for example, like this one, I think they're the same as the Kimberbell. They're about 29 inches by 20 inches.
Questions?
Okay, we have questions. All right, I might have been talking too fast.
Can you use any kitchen towel?
You can use any kitchen towel, and
You might have to repeat my questions too. Remember, they can't hear me.
okay. Oh, I forgot because of the headgear, you guys won't be able to hear Liz. So she's asking, relaying to me questions that you guys are asking. Can you use different towels? Yes, you can. The Kimberbell and yes, I'm repeating this. The Kimberbell towels and the other towels that are big like this, you only need one towel. If you're using another style of towel, for example, I had found these bar towels. And if you look here, here's the Kimberbell towels. And they look like this. We have the polka dots, we have the stripes, and we also have the blanks. And then there is and then there's yellow, there's gray, there's red, navy, and turquoise. So you have this for the different style of towels that you can get from Kimberbell. If you do not purchase that because maybe it's 8 o'clock at night and you're shopping somewhere and you're like, oh, I forgot to get my towels from Sew-A-Lot. If you get, for example, a bar towel like this, which is about 16 inches by 18 inches, you're going to need two of these because you can't cut this in half and get your towel. So you're going to need two of these. I've also found these other tea towels or dish towels. As you can see, this one is a lot smaller than this one. So again, on this one, you're going to need to get two towels. So this is why I really like the Kimberbell towels. I only have to have one to be able to do my project. So that you can make multiple of these, because I have made multiple of these now, especially for this. They are Christmas presents and just presents in general. What you want to do is get your towel nicely folded in half. You can see here on the one mini camera, I'm lining up my folded edge here. And I have another question.
Should they be a certain fabric towel?
They don't need to be okay. To answer the best way that I can feel to answer that question is they don't have to be any fabric other than the style of towel you like to use in your kitchen. So if you like to use the tea towels, drying your hands or drying dishes, then get a tea towel. If you like to use the towel that has more to it, like the bar towel, or like what I used on this one, and I'm drawing a blank, what is this fabric called? Terry. So if you get a terry towel, that works too. As you notice, this one has a terry towel in it. It just depends on what style of towel you want to use in your kitchen.
Be sure to pre-wash and dry your bar towels because sometimes they shrink.
Oh, somebody did mention to make sure that you pre-wash your bar towels because they will shrink on you. And so that is a good note. That's good to know. Thank you for letting us know that because I did not on my bar towel. Sorry. Who's ever getting that gift? Oh, wait, the bar towel's for me. Okay, so it won't matter. All right, what I want to do is, now that I have the fold here in the center, I want to give it a nice press because I want a press line. Okay, so on this one, I folded the 29-inch length in half. So this now is the 20 inches by 14. I am going to open this up and I'm going to cut this towel in half. Wow, I can't believe she did that. So I'm going to cut the. Oh, I got to forget that you can't hear Liz. She went, oh, Like, don't cut it, don't cut it. So you're going to cut the towel in half. And apparently, I'm now going to have to make another kitchen boa that uses this towel. But that's okay. I'm going to have fun with these. Oh, yes, I'm going to give one to my sister who said, I will never use it. And I got a label for you on that one for those people who say they'll never use it. So I cut the towel in half. If you have the bar towel, you want to take the long end. So the 18 inches. So you have a nice finished edge here. We want to cut that off. So you're going to add just one side. Just cut off one side. Not both of them or all four of them. Just one on the long side. You're just going to whack that nice finished edge off. So now I have the raw edge. Well, the opening of my scarf, boa, I need to make sure that, maybe you didn't press that well, because that sometimes happens to me because I got in a hurry. I do want to measure and make sure the opening of my towel. So right here, so you can see on the camera, my towel measures 5 inches. So I did good on my seam allowance this go around. It's 5 inches. So that's a good thing. So we want to take our towel. Some of your towels will be blank. Some of your towels will have print. There is no set science on to do this other than looking at how does my print go? How do I want to do it? But you're going to fan fold this. So if you can see here, I'm going to take the first part and I'm going to tuck it underneath. And then I'm going to grab the next part and I'm going to take it, fold it up. And then I'm going to take the next part, fold it up. And I'm just kind of guessing right now because I want to make sure that this is going to fit my current towel. So I'm going to take my ruler and measure. Do I have 5 inches? I'm just under 5 inches here. And if you notice what I did here is I showed some red. You can see in this camera here that I have a little bit of red. We'll just adjust that a little bit. I have one little red stripe here, red with a stripe, and then I have a stripe with the red. So I'm going to play with my colors and my print, the pattern that's on my towel, to decide how I want to pleat the towel. The biggest key is that if you fold it and it doesn't match to your opening on the ends of 5 inches. Now I just press that in. Wonder clips come great at this point. I want to take those wonder clips and I want to clip so that my pleats do not come undone. And I'm going to clip my pleats. And you don't have to at the moment, but I find it easier if I go ahead and I press the entire towel right now and get pleats set. So I'm going to set my pleats. Now, I don't know if there's any more questions on that because maybe the pattern didn't make sense when I was explaining it. So I brought another towel to kind of give you an idea of pattern. So notice that this pattern's a little bit different. So if I want the pattern to be kind of the same, maybe I'm going to fold it like this. And I'm using my pattern, so I'm going to fold it so I kind of get the same pattern in my pleats. And I'm pinching, folding over. And so you can kind of see where I am getting my pattern there. And then, of course, then I'm going to have to measure and go, no, that's 6.5 inches. That will not work.
Why couldn't you gather the towel?
You could gather the towel. It's just that the reason why I like pleating the towel is because when you hang it up and you have the pleats, I think it has a nice stunning look pleated. It hangs better. If you gathered, your bottom won't be gathered. It's going to be it's going to flare out more. So I like the pleats. So then on this towel, I will try a different method. We may come in and do this, and maybe I want it to look more like this and hide some of those and then go like this and have it finished like that. So you're going to play with your pleats. And again, I want to measure, I'm at 5.5. So I'm just going to make my pleats a little bit closer on here. So you can see where it's not an exact science. It's kind of what look do I want it to have when I pleat it? And I want to follow my pattern. Now I'm at 4. So you just play back and forth a little bit. If you're a little bit smaller, that's smaller in width, that's fine. It's just that it will bunch if you don't make it. And now I'm at 5. So I'm just going to come in with the iron and press it. And then use my Wonder clips and clip it into place. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to move the camera back to the machine. Let's not make anybody seasick again. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on the Viking and I'm going to switch this over to woven heavy. And I am going to put the fabric on. I'm going to do a 1/4 inch seam allowance. So I'm still using the 1/4 inch foot. This machine also has the exclusive exclusive sensor system. So what it does, it will adjust the pressure foot height for going over different thicknesses of fabric. So this is a nice feature on here since I do not have a walking foot on it and it does not have a built-in walking foot. Yes, it is on a lot of Vikings. It goes all the way down to the Sapphire 930. The Opal does not have it. So I believe it is on the ones that have the larger throat space. But if you don't have one that has larger throat space, you can do a walking foot attachment. And again, that is, what I'm talking about for the Viking machine. Other machines may have different features. So now I've pleated and sewn that together. Next, I am going to have my open end. I am going to take my towel and I'm going to tuck it up into the opening about 1/2 inch to 1 inch. And see how that fits nicely. That's why we were measuring the towel so that it will fit nicely in there. And I forgot to move that camera. That would be so helpful, wouldn't it? Okay, let's do that again so everybody can see it. So here's my raw edge. Here's my raw edge. And here's the opening of the towel. So I am going to tuck the towel into the opening. Again, about 1 inch to 1/2 inch. And then I am going to take my Wonder clips and clip the edges so it doesn't move on me. I am now going to go back to the machine, move the camera again, make sure nobody gets seasick. Everybody's probably going to get seasick by the end of the day. I apologize. I am going to sew about 1/8 inch away from the edge of the towel. And make sure I don't pull my pleats. So you want to make sure your pleats are laying flat. If you have the option on your machine, you will want to do your needle down position on this. I'm going to come to the edge and end about 1/8 inch away. I'm going to turn, sew up about till I'm about 1/4 inch away from the edge. And then I'm going to go back across and I can feel if I am catching the towel with inside the boa. I'm going to come down the other edge about 1/8 inch and I am basically making a rectangle and then I'm going to sew over about 1/2 inch of the previous stitch, tie off, and then cut. So this is what you're going to do on both ends of your boa. Once you get done, so you can see here, Move the camera again. So this is here, and I don't know if Barb's on here today, but
Yes.
oh yay, Barb. See, I remembered, Barb. I remembered. Clip my thread so this looks nice because it's going to be for a gift, and we don't want a gift to look terrible. So I'm clipping my threads because I'm terrible about that, as everybody knows. And I can look at the back of my boa, and I can see where I caught the back side and the other side. At this point, what I want to do is do a top stitch down the long side of the boa. That is how quickly your boa will go together. I got this done in no time. When you are tucking, oh, that is one thing I do want to add. So I tucked this in. Notice that my towel is my fold. This is the fold that I wanted on the back side of the boa. So I want to make sure that when I'm doing the other towel, I have the back side and I had put it on backwards. So you want to make sure that if you have folded a certain way so that it looks the same, make sure that you put it in the opening so that your boa is facing up the same way and your towel is so that your towel front is looking the exact same way, because you may have it folded where you want, like on this one, I have the finished factory of the towel folded back behind it. So all I see is my pleats, and so top stitch around. Do we have any other questions by chance? Liz?
You hit everything.
But okay, she's looking for some questions. In the meantime, as I said, I wanted to give one of these to my sister who said she will never use it.
Is she gonna watch this on?
No, she's not. So I can make fun of her and she can't defend herself. So I'll tell her about it tonight, probably. So we have these cute
I love these.
cute little project labels. Okay, so the first one is, we've been having a lot of people ask. We got these little project labels. I don't know if you can see there.
I had a lot of non-sewers.
They want project labels, and this one is little labels that says made for, and there's a line where you can use a permanent marker. I don't know if you could put that closer to the camera so that they could see it. So there's the project labels that you could just put on any project. Is that iron on or fuse on?
Iron.
These are iron on. Now we have these other ones. These so fit me because they're sarcastic. All right. On the back end, you get two of each of these sayings. One saying, this took forever.
Oh, hold on.
So I have a glare.
Hold on. I'm coming. Okay, there you go.
So,
Because now it won't be inverted.
okay. So we have one that says, so we got those project label. One says, this took forever. Like, I put blood, sweat, and tears in here. You better enjoy it. The other one says, one of a kind. That means you're not going to, nobody else is going to have one like it. And then my favorite is, you better use this.
And there's two in each packet.
And there's two of each one. These were so cute. And Liz saw these, and I'm like, I've already bought one of these because I'm pretty sure the one that says, you better use this, is going to go on my sister's boa. But that is the boa.
Okay, a lot of questions.
A lot of questions. All right, more questions. All right, yay.
Okay. Let's see. Debbie Holbrook says you do have to be careful with the directional fabric on the boas. You need to have a seam at the neck. So if you have it. Yeah.
So Debbie,
The question.
one of the people said that if you have directional fabric, you need to watch the directional fabric because you may want to have the seam at the neck so that you don't see the seam. And if that's the case, if it's directional, so
one side goes up and the other side goes down.
Yeah. Yeah, so you want the seam at the neck. So if that's the case, then you're going to have to cut 4 strips to work with your directional fabric. So if you have, so the again the statement was, if you have directional fabric, one may be going down, like your stripes are going down and you don't want the stripes going sideways over here. Or if you have Santa Claus facing up, you don't want Santa Claus facing down going this way. So you want to watch that. And if that's the case, you're going to have to cut more fabric. You'll have to cut 4 strips as opposed to just 3 to accommodate for the directional fabric. And I think we had another question.
Oh yeah, there's a lot.
We got more questions. I'm trying to answer them all.
Chocolate goes best with a sewing boa.
I actually.
You have to repeat the question.
So the question was, what kind of chocolate goes best with the sewing boa? Funny part is that I actually wrote instructions and I put in there dark chocolate. You know, a nice dark chocolate with the sweet wine. I'm good to go.
The labels.
Okay.
Right now they're only available in Lexington because we found them late.
Right now these labels are only in Lexington, but Leslie can order them in the Ohio store, and so we will give her information on the labels. The ones that says one of a kind and you better use this are $4.39. The iron-on labels. So there's 6 labels total in this one. This one here has 4 woven labels and they're $2.35. We found these late, so we just got them in. So the Ohio store doesn't have them. I will send the information to them. So if you call them right after this video, they're going to look at you and say, I don't know. I will get them the information. Call them about it tomorrow, or you can call the Lexington store. I apologize, Ohio. Sorry.
The name of the fabric turner.
The name of the fabrics turner is Easy Point Turner by Sue O'Berry Designs. So she has some really neat stuff. I will down the road actually probably be demoing more about this one because I believe we might have a demo day coming up that we might have something really neat on a Friday instead of one video. We might be running videos all day. Might. It's in a plan. No, we don't. We got a lot in store for everybody. So we really want to keep everybody enthused about everything that's going on right now. But
so are there any more questions?
Are there more questions right now? So I know there's a lag in from when I'm speaking to when you guys receive it on Facebook. So I'm just waiting a little bit on that one. But yes, the question about the chocolate, it's like, yeah, have your nice little thing of tea and your favorite treat.
My other question is, was the sound better today?
Oh, Liz has a question for everybody. Was the sound better? Did you like this new camera where you can see from face on and dimensional? Did this work better for everybody? Please let me know. And then also tell me that it's like slow down when you're moving the camera to the sewing machine.
And we have some lagging internet in the Lexington store that should be corrected by next week, which then should make everything a little quicker.
And the other thing too, our internet has not been the greatest. And we are actually getting that corrected next week because there's been a lag between us and sometimes people's internet reception. They can't see this camera and it match up with what I'm talking about. So next week that will be corrected.
Extra camera was great, sound was great, good. Handout. We're still trying to figure out the best way to do the handout.
Well, we're working on the handout because I did type up the instructions because I love you guys. How would you be able to do this?
What I might do is put them in Monday's email.
She might put it in Monday's email. They had to go and edit it because I typed it up yesterday and they had to proofread it today. But I also got to tell you, so more questions, please send more questions. While you're sending the questions, next week's project, huh? The pattern. One second, everybody. Okay, how to run and get the pattern. I did not bring the pattern. So this is the smallest gift bag of it. What it is, it's called Bubbly Bags by Atkinson's Design. So if you can see there's 3 different style of bags. There's applique. You could also do machine embroidery, and I will be talking about that next week. This is the smallest one, and you can't tell, but guess what? These are zippers. The handles are zippers. It's really cool, but they're not put together. The pattern tells you to do this. So, and this little gift bag does fold up nicely, but you know, that's next week's project, but they're bigger than this one, and the holidays are coming up, and you may not be going over for a holiday party, but you still probably want to drop gifts off for everybody. So next week is this one for the bubbly bags by Atkinson's Design, and I will be showing that next week. And did anybody have any more questions about the kitchen boa? I hope everybody's going to go this weekend and make at least one, because I find it really handy. Kim wants one. Yeah, Kim wants one. My sister doesn't, but Kim does. At least somebody.
Kim to be your new sister.
There we go. You want a Kimberbell one? Oh, wow. For Christmas. Okay. But, oh, and who wins the door prize? Hold on. We're rolling the thing. Mary Jane Jones wins the door prize. Yay! Everybody, thank you again for participating today. I have enjoyed it so much. Everybody, take care. Have a great weekend. See you next week. Bye.